Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time we're talking episode 14 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. called Tahiti. And despite the name of the episode, we really don't learn too awful much about what's going on. Well, I guess they do expand on the idea that it wasn't just surgery that helped bring Coulson back from the dead. It was apparently something to do with goop from an alien or something. We don't exactly know what this thing is. The speculation I've seen online has run from a frost giant like Loki to one of the Chitauri, which probably would make the most sense. I've also heard Centron, the race of Yondu, one of the characters who's going to appear in the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and we've also seen people speculating that it might be a Kree, another alien race that'll be popping up in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I don't really agree with the people who say that it would be a little strange for them to debut these aliens here on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as opposed to in the movie. I mean, you're introducing an alien race, not an important character. I don't really see any particular reason why they couldn't do that here on the show, and then anybody who watches the show and then goes and sees the movie will go, oh hey, they mentioned that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So again, I don't think that introducing an alien race is a big deal. Introducing an established and important character, well, that would be a different story. Speaking of which in this episode, hey, it's Bill Paxton. That's kind of cool. I mean, he didn't really have a great deal to work with, but hey, Bill Paxton, right? And again, this is one of the episodes that really just seems to be about introducing things and new elements and stuff, and doesn't really feel like the story advances very much. We understand that okay, there's aliens. We don't. They might be Asgardians. They might be one of the other species that I mentioned. And now Sky's been injected with this gunk, and she's probably going to eventually get better at a conveniently dramatic moment. And this all has to. And of course, Coulson is again keeping things from people. But again, it just doesn't really feel like a whole lot gets accomplished this time around. I didn't really care what was going on with Ian Quinn. I wasn't very interested in the other agents, Bill Paxton and the other fella. I mean, yes, the other agents seem to take some kind of an interest in Simmons, which which will probably come up again later on, but under the circumstances, this didn't really seem like the sort of thing that they should really be focusing on at this point. And yeah, we get to see May flip out and be emotional and show, yes, she does have a bit of a heart. But again, it just feels like they're just throwing more questions at us and doing very little to resolve or meaningfully expand on what's going on already. And that just isn't satisfying. It just muddles things rather than leading to the series of payoffs and setups that in sequence that make for good drama. And then we get even more of this at the end of the episode with the red-haired woman, Lorelei. Now this isn't really a character I'm very familiar with. I actually just finished having a quick glance at her Wikipedia page, and mostly she's the younger sister of the Enchantress, a longtime Thor villain, and she's an occasional ally of Loki, and that's really kind of all there is for her. Now, she's not really a terribly important character from the comics, so she's a sort of Marvel character who it makes sense for them to do her on the small screen. Now, this is all. I mean, this is cool. Definitely bringing in more elements from Asgard, I think, is a cool idea because that's something that's been a little bit of a reoccurring theme so far this season, and that definitely opens up the door for more stuff from the established Marvel universe, which is only, can really only be good for this show. But really, that's really all I have to say about this episode. It's not a bad episode by any measure. It just feels like one where very little gets resolved. The plot does move forward a bit, but only a bit, and as I said, it just seems to muddle the whole mess further. For this show to really start firing on all cylinders, it needs to start having more real payoffs. And this is now saving a lot of the big stuff for the big finale and having the big finale be really awesome. Well, okay, that's very trademark Joss Whedon. But one thing I have to say, and I hate to be another person out there comparing this show to Arrow, because they're two really different beasts. They're just shows that come from the comic book genre. But what makes Arrow great is that it doesn't jerk you around too much. Now, okay, yes, they've been doing, like, some people don't like that on flashbacks, but Arrow has a thing where they will very quickly set stuff up, and then a couple of episodes later, it gets paid off. Now, of course, they have their big overarching storylines throughout the season, and that's fine. But little things get set up, they go on for a couple of episodes, and they get resolved, and then there's some payoff on that that has real consequences on the plot. And S.H.I.E.L.D. has just not been doing that great of a job of doing that. I mean, yes, there have been payoffs, but you need these on a really regular basis. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel like the time you spend tuning into the show is really being well spent. Well, anyway, looks like there's not that many episodes left. There's only like 2 episodes left there that I know of for this season. I don't remember exactly if they got a full 20-something episode order for this season. But yeah, we're going to need something pretty big pretty soon. Now, I know about the guest star that's coming on next week, and I'm very excited about that. I think that would be a really great way to start opening the door to stuff and really start hitting the high notes in terms of payoffs. At least I hope that's what happens. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you this time. Until next time, take care and have a good one.